3 minutes? No, it's fine. 'Cause I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have in between. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets were clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. My name is Phil Grant. I'm the high school principal. It's my pleasure to introduce to you today's MCs. There are two this year. They have both shown tremendous commitment to their community through student leadership and dedication to athletics and showing high academic standards. Addison Bernier and Wesley Carlson.
Welcome to this annual Memorial Day Observance. We would like to remind you all that today is not a show or a performance, but a time to show honor and gratitude for those who have served and are currently serving our country. Please be quiet and respectful during this observance.
It is Vermont law that all schools must observe Memorial Day on the Friday before the last Monday in May. That is today.
To begin today's observance, we will now recognize a moment of silence for those who have served our country. Second grade students from Morrisville Elementary School will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join them in reciting.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In July of 1862, after losing 600 men and being wounded himself, General Daniel Adams Butterfield called the brigade bugler to his tent. He wanted to honor his men, and through music, TAPS was born. It was officially recognized by the U.S. Army in 1874 and became standard at military ceremonies in 1891. Its echoes linger in the heart long after its tones have ceased to vibrate in the air.
If everyone could please stand for the performance of TAPS by middle and high school band and chorus director, Mr. Dan Bruce.
Many people remember those who have died in the line of service to our country with flowers. The kindergartners will now present their gifts of flowers.
It has been a tradition to have a high school group do a choral reading of Honor to Whom Honor is Due, which is a poem that was written by Sally Zitzman, a former People's Academy teacher. Today, Mrs. Duffy's American Literature class will provide this honor.
Honor to whom honor is due, for your sacrifice.
Eugene Burroughs,
Carl Kramer, Morton Stiles,
Ernest Ward.
Walter Ward.
We give thanks to our country,
land that we love.
You pledged your lives.
Smith Warren,
Herbert Wright,
Robert Baker,
Howard Bumps,
Donald Sherman,
Your fortunes and your sacred honor.
William Conrad Jr.
Raymond Gates.
Albert B. Goss,
Roger Kellogg,
Orrin Russell,
Lives,
fortunes,
sacred honor. For your sacrifice, we give thanks. Proud, we pay tribute to those from our towns who answered the call.
Raymond Neeland,
Cedric Laraway,
William LaRoche,
Ellis May.
Christopher Merchant.
Reginald Putnam,
For your sacrifice, lives,
Fortunes,
sacred honor, we give thanks. Honor to whom honor is due. Our country,
Land that we love.
Civil War,
Kosovo,
dedication,
World War II.
Somalia,
Vietnam,
courage,
Gulf War,
Korea.
World War I,
Afghanistan.
Iraq,
for your sacrifice, lives,
Fortunes,
sacred honor, we give thanks.
For your sacrifice.
Lives, fortunes, sacred honor, we might reach the sky. Ever vigilant, mindful, caring, watchful, we give thanks. Proud, we pay tribute to those from our towns. For your sacrifice, lives, fortunes, sacred honor,
We and future generations might
stand up, speak out, free to learn and to teach.
Tolerance.
Peace.
love of community,
Ever mindful.
We give thanks.
We give thanks for your sacrifice.
we pay tribute to those from our towns who answered the call.
Our country,
Land that we love.
for your sacrifice, we give thanks. Memorial Day 2021. Honor to whom honor is due.
One goal for today's events is to help you all understand the principles of liberty and equal rights. In an effort to help you understand this concept, 2 8th grade students, Onyx Baird and Shane Coons, will deliver the Gettysburg Address, which, in Lincoln's words, speaks to those who gave their lives so that this nation might live.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this.
But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add and detract. The world will little know nor long remember what we say here, but I can never forget what we did here. It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
At this time, we would like to welcome our very own Mrs. Shannon DeSantis-Guile and Mr. Peter Guillen. Today, they would like to perform the Ashokan Farewell to help us remember those who have served. You're going to have to use your imagination a little bit for this part. Imagine that you can see into every classroom on our entire multi-school campus. Imagine that you can meet every other student and staff member who is part of our school community. Okay, hold that image for a minute. And now, we would like to recognize anyone in our school community who has served or is currently serving our country in any of the armed forces, police, fire departments, or rescue services. Please stand up and stay standing in your classroom. This is where your imagination comes in. Imagine that you can see the many people standing up in our classrooms.
We also would like to ask anyone who has a member of their family currently serving to also please stand up. The people standing in your classroom or down the hall or across our campus and their family members are making sacrifices by serving our nation. Let us please show our thanks by giving these people a round of applause.
And here is Mr. Dan Bruce with These Green Mountains. The observance is now over. Thank you for joining us.